Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature that's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
Beautiful people, thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put it in a book, like The Wealth Choice, written by brother Dr. Dennis Kimbro, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified global financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, The Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if. But if you do, you can do it. And I recommend that you study wealthy people. Well, you can find a copy of the book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. You'll also find when you go to the website, you'll see a place called The Store. At The Store, we have other Black author books that will introduce not you, but also your children to things like introducing them to credit, introducing them to insurance, introducing them to investing, introducing them into entrepreneurship, where we can simply teach them early what we may have learned late. Well, that's a decision that you can make by going to the store when you go to theblackbillionairesclub.com. There's also another tab there that says join the club. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you find yourself in a place where you're the smartest person in the room, well, it's time for you to find a new room. And we believe the Black Billionaires Club might be that room for you. You want to get around like-minded people who are talking that wealth talk, who talking that business talk, who are basically serious about building building wealth and building business while we build ourselves. And the most important part, we build ourselves, which is what we're going to do here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. So there's an opportunity for you guys to connect with us if you'd like to do that. Again, go to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. Well, we're going to get into this thing, The Wealth Choice. It's a book written by Dr. Dennis Kimbro, and we're continuing our journey. We'll be in the last part. This last part here is the last frontier of the fourth chapter, where we're getting into the fourth law of wealth. Before we get into this, I want to make sure we find out who's here. We'll do a quick roll call. So in the comments below, love for you to share where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country. What city, what state, what country. Love to know just how far our reach is here this morning. I mean, you mean to tell me that Black folk getting up to read? Yes. You mean to tell me we're reading about stuff that's going to help us financially? Yes. You mean to tell me we're going to read something that's going to help us level up in our mindset so we can then level up in our bank account? Yes. And you mean to tell me that we're going to do that together? Yes. Put in the comments below what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web into Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, right? Using this World Wide Web to go global. We don't know how far our reach is here today. Rep your city, rep your state, rep your country right now in the comments below. Let's find out who's joined us here already, man. It's early morning on a Saturday. I mean, you could still be asleep, but the early bird gets the worm. You must have got up for a reason for such a time as this. We got She-Rose in the house from Florida. Thanks so much for joining. Sweet Dark Chocolate. Okay now. Over in Atlanta. Georgia over here on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Miss Selena Spooney is in the house. Brother Gavin Freeland from Australia is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Miss Vivian Reed is in the house from Brooklyn, New York. We got Miss Keone. What's going on? I think you got my same last name. Miss Jefferson, maybe your name probably changed by now. But anyway, we used to have the same last name. Over here in Atlanta, Georgia, Mableton, Georgia is representing as well. Miss Glenda Tate Williams out of Kings Mountain, North Kakalaki. Brother Carter, Mr. Carter is in the house from Decatur, where is greater as well. Miss Akila Redmond has joined us as well. Thanks so much for joining us out of Chi-Town. That's where my family's from, by the way. Johnson Julia has joined us as well. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. Miss Charlotte Rahamang out of Detroit has joined us as well. Good morning to you. We got another Person from Detroit on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Man, we got Made Man from Atlanta's in the house. Miss Melanie Peters from Miami, Florida's in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Now, quick shout out to our sponsors who help us make this thing come true. As we have this honoring brother LeVar Burton in the Black History Month with Reading Rainbow 2.0. And we're going to take 30 minutes today. 30 minutes to keep broke and stupid away. That's right. Reading Rainbow 2.0, 30 minutes a day to keep broke and stupid away. Quick shout out to our sponsors. Thanks so much for sponsoring the show, making this thing a reality. We do have here the Black Bazaar. By simply going to the website, theblackbazaar.com, Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art inspired gifts, a Black-owned business. Of course, because that's my business. I'm sponsoring my own ish. That's right, man. Check us out, theblackbazaar.com. Blackberry Charisma, a Black woman-owned business who takes care of getting you all your custom created stuff. She also has lingerie. That's pretty dope as well. Check out Blackberry Charisma by going to the website, www.blackberrycharisma. That will be KHA Charisma, blackberrycharisma.com. We got a brother here who want to help you to start your business or actually extend what you're currently doing in business. That's going to be at For the Hustler Books. This brother's the man, when you buy a book from him, he's going to also give you a consultation to be able to help you figure out how he can help make your dream become a reality. Check him out at hustlerbooks.com. And then we have Big Sis Media. I mean, where would I be without Big Sis? If you need some assistance, you need to get that website going. You need to get your first commercial, Black businesses. Where's the commercial? You don't have a commercial. You want to do some of the stuff that I'm doing. Well, Big Sis can help you. She's going to help you go from 1999 to 2021. Go ahead and get the assistance that you need so that you can finally be upgraded for the current state of affairs, which is basically all digital media. Check her out at www.bigsismediagroup.com, www.bigsismediagroup.com. Everybody that's watching us here live right now, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, go ahead and put in the comments below, I choose wealth. Go ahead and put that in the comments below, I choose wealth. As we're going to get into the wealth choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. We're going to get into this thing here today. Dr. Dennis Kimbro, you can find this book by going to his website, www.denniskimbro.com, www.denniskimbro.com. You can pick up a copy of the book right there. We're going to continue our journey into the fourth law of wealth. So let's do a quick recap. The first law says this. Says wealth begins in the mind and it ends in the purse. First law of wealth. Wealth begins in the mind and it ends in the purse. What that law is simply saying is that we decide what we're going to feed ourselves, who we're going to hang around, what we're going to watch, what we're going to read, what we're going to listen to. And those decisions are either going to build up a wealth consciousness or a poverty mindset. And it's up to us to feed ourselves. And so we're choosing this morning to feed ourselves wealthy stuff, right? Wealthy and healthy stuff. Wealth begins in the mind. The second law of wealth simply says this. Decide now that you will not be poor. So once we begin to feed ourselves, if we begin to understand there are some differences there's some different habits, there's some different traits, then we must make a choice. We must make a choice. We're basically choosing wealth and not choosing poverty. The third law of wealth talks about this concept of this thing called faith. It simply says this. I will believe in myself even if no one else does. I believe in myself. Everybody put in the console, I believe in myself. I believe in myself when no one else does. That's the third law of wealth. Believe in yourself when no one else will. And now we're going to finish up today the fourth law of wealth. We're going to start in continue in a chapter or a subchapter called The Difference That Makes the Difference. The difference that makes the difference. New Black Wall Street Book Club. Let's read. Eddie Brown took a little longer than Daniel Carter to uncover his calling, but he found it nonetheless. He struggled to get there, but he knew his right place rested in the world of finance. One of the Black America's most successful investors discovered one of the top tenets of wealth creation was to know thyself. Know thyself. There's a huge difference between possessing a gift and being truly gifted. Your ability to attain and amass wealth does not depend on innate powers, regardless of how talented or gifted you may be. On the contrary, it is your willingness to exercise your faith, persevere, And above all, be diligent and engaged in your pursuit of your financial goals and objectives. Well, I would say in order for you to be in pursuit of something, you got to have something. In order for you to pursue those goals, you got to have those goals. Do you got financial goals? Do you have financial goals? Do you have financial objectives? Or do you wake up every day and just say, whatever comes my way, Lord. Whatever you bring me today. Repeat this again. It's your willingness to exercise your faith, to persevere, and above all, be diligent and engaged in the pursuit of your financial goals, your objectives. These qualities and these qualities alone make up the it factor. Each of us must search within to answer three critical questions. Number one, why are you here? And number two, what is your strength? And number three, what is your unique gift? Why are you here? What is your strength? And what is your unique gift? We talked about this yesterday. What makes you stand out from the crowd is what's going to bring you the most money. It's not what makes you similar, it's what makes you different. And if you can rely or you can hone in or exercise these strengths that you have, these things that make you unique, the gift that you've been given, if you can just continue to practice that, you'll begin to find what I call uncommon kind of money. It's in the spaces that you're similar to everybody else, that you have the commonalities and you have common kind of money, because there's a lot of competition for that kind of money. But in a space that makes you truly different, your unique gift, if you cultivate that gift, well, now you start putting you start putting yourself in a space of uncommon. And it's in the space of uncommon or in the space of special that you get uncommon and special kind of money. How many guys are saying this morning, I need to get some of that uncommon kind of money, that special kind of money. So I need that extraordinary kind of money. Where I'm going, what I'm doing, where I'm headed, I'm gonna need some of that uncommon. I'm gonna need to add a couple digits to that check. I'm telling you, begin to exercise the things that make you truly gifted or unique or different, rare, special. You begin to get that kind of capital into your storehouse, that kind of income into your storehouse. It'll be so much coming to you, you won't even know what to do with it at this point. You start praying for money, you start praying for wisdom. Man, what do I need to do with all the stuff that's coming into my hand? Gets a little scary when that starts happening. This exercise is not as simple as it seems. Recognizing our true strengths and also means highlighting what we lack and relinquishing perhaps unattainable and unreachable dreams. With regard to Brown's financial prowess, considering the following quiz, which serves as a frame of reference for his talents and gifts. What if the bottom fell out of the stock market and as a result, your portfolio plunged by 10% in a single week? What if one stock in particular had seemed like a sure bet when you bought it last month? The company markets a product that consumers need, is well managed, and boasts a consistent track record of growth until it missed the latest Wall Street earnings expectations and dropped like a brick. Would you, number one, would you sell it and question yourself for buying the stock in the first place? Number two, would you sit tight and do nothing until you recover your loss? Number three, would you smile and purchase more, assuming that everyone else is dead wrong? Or number four, would you study and reconfirm your assessment of the company, then buy more? If you answer number four, you and Eddie Brown are probably kindred spirits. This shrewd investor is renowned for his ability to uncover stocks that increase in value even when it seems as if the sky is falling and the market is in decline. This strategy has not only helped him become one of Black America's wealthiest and most generous philanthropists, but it also has made him the most watched and emulated investor outside of Wall Street. While he is perhaps one of the leading authorities on managing risk in mutual funds, he built wealth for himself and others by keeping things simple. Everybody put it down, so keep it simple. He built wealth for himself and others by keeping things simple and sticking to his knitting. Hallmark traits that undergird Brown Capital Management, the investment firm he founded in 1983. Although his company offers an array of mutual funds that require a minimal investment, foundations and pension plans must meet a $5 million requirement in order to garner his service. At first glance, there's little reason to think that Brown Capital, specifically its founder Eddie Brown, is one of Baltimore's wealthiest, regardless of color or ethnicity, and one of Black America's richest. To set the record straight, Brown is a self-made man. Born in 1940 in Apopka, Florida, then a rural town 13 miles from Orlando. Brown was raised in a world where your food was fried and everyone you knew was Black and Baptist. His mother was 13 years old and unwed, so her parents raised Brown as their own. His grandparents lived in a one-story frame house without hot water or indoor plumbing. The Great Depression still had its hands around the throats of struggling Blacks in the South, and Jim Crow's iron heel remained firmly planted on the necks of Black men and women throughout the region. Almost intuitively, his grandmother sensed that her grandson was smart and restless. Besides, she wanted to show him there were better ways to earn a living than raising plants and picking oranges. Orlando offered a slew of opportunities, and the warm weather resort town exposed the young boy to life far removed from dusty roads and farms, a life where businessmen handled daily affairs dressed in suits, starched shirts, and ties. If you go to school, his grandmother coaxed, and get a good education, you too can sit behind a desk and wear a white shirt and tie. Even then, Brown loved school and dreamed of being the first in his family to attend college. Brown's grandmother died when he was 13. Unable to care for him, family members sent him to Allentown, Pennsylvania, to live with his mother, who by then worked as a domestic. Although Brown's grades were stellar, instructors at the local high school tried to convince him that college was beyond his reach. Driven and locked on every word, this one-time shy boy graduated among the top of his class a year ahead of schedule before enrolling in Howard University, where 4 years later he would gain a degree in electrical engineering. After a stint in the Army, Brown took a job with IBM while attending graduate school at night. Once he received his MBA, he left the technology firm and shifted careers. He worked for a small money management boutique in Columbus, Indiana, and then in 1973, he found himself at T. Rowe Price, a global investment powerhouse. It was there, at Price, where Brown realized his strength. His career switch from engineering to finance was an easy transition. He said the move engineering was very significant in my career preparation. What I gained in terms of analytical skills and rational thinking translates well into the investment world. Brown worked with a team of money managers who invested hundreds of millions of dollars for corporate pension plans, endowment funds, and foundations. A colleague who worked with Brown for nearly a decade in the trenches stated the obvious. He's smart as hell, and he keeps his cool under fire. He's a perfect fit for this industry. My interaction with the Black financial elite reveals the same wealth-producing habit that holds true regardless of vocation. From former teachers to accountants, from one-time fashion models to electrical engineers who have found themselves toiling in obscurity behind a desk for a Fortune 100 high-tech company. The millionaire's key to wealth lies in his or her ability to discover and organize strengths in order to apply gifts and talents. Let me say that again. The secret lies in the ability to discover and organize. Everybody put in console, discover and organize. To discover and organize strengths in order to apply gifts and talents. Brown's strength and temperament lie at the heart of his company's balance sheet. A tireless researcher and an unshakable optimist, he peers into the future partly by attempting to calculate the current value of a company's expected future cash flow. As a result, his expertise as a savvy investor rests in his uncanny knack to identify companies with a good chance of continuing their success 25 years down the road. Not only is he exceptional in his chosen line of work, Brown Capital boasts $6 billion in assets, but he is a steady and calm force in an environment rife with chaos and uncertainty, a quality he learned at the feet of his grandmother as she tended the orange groves of her family farm in Central Florida. This profile reveals a precious secret that most effective if uncovered by you, the reader. That's most effective if uncovered by you, the reader. Eddie Brown had a specific plan, and he conditioned his mind so thoroughly that nothing was going to block him from making his mark. By age 42, he had reached the pinnacle of his corporate career. At industry leader T. Rowe Price, he flourished. He was promoted to vice president and received bonuses paid in stock options in addition to a handsome salary. But in spite of his success, he was well aware of his unique gift and held a vision of striking out on his own. The individual who knows where he or she is going and is determined to get there will find a way or make a way to arrive at his or her destination. Let me repeat that again. The individual who knows where he or she is going and is determined to get there will find or make a way to arrive at his or her destination. Let me repeat it again. The individual who knows where he or she is going and is determined to get there will find or make a way to arrive at his or her destination. Now notice the author is saying they find or make a way. They don't find or make an excuse. They find or make a way. Everybody put in console, find a way. You find a way. Right? There's plenty of ways to get there, but you got to find your way to get there. But in order for you to even be looking or to find a way, you got to be looking because you've determined where it is that you want to go. And you've determined in yourself, in your own spirit, that I'm going to get there by one way or another. The individual who knows where he or she is going and is determined to get there will find or make a way to arrive at his or her destination. At his or her destination. Find a way. Here's another subsection. New rules of money. New rules of money. Forget passion. Follow your strength. So this is a recurring theme in this chapter. Follow your strength. Follow your strength. Follow your strength. It keeps saying in every subsection, follow your strength. New Black Wall Street Book Club. Let's keep reading. For more than 2 hours, I sat in Steve Harvey's spacious corporate office north of Atlanta, Georgia, and listened intently as the actor, comedian, talk show host, entrepreneur, best-selling author explained how he came face to face with the fourth law of wealth. At the least likely of moments, Harvey, an innocent 9-year-old child at the time, stood in his fourth grade class and, without an ounce of timidity, shared his goal of one day starring on television. And what was the response? Ridiculed by his classmates and chided by his teacher, young and impressionable Steve Harvey bore the brunt of jokes for the balance of the academic year. 29 years later, and with an ever-expanding fan base as well as a career that is yet to plateau, the joke is no longer on him. The youngest of 5 children to a homemaker mother and a coal miner father whose life was cut too short because of the black lung disease, Harvey left college short of a degree as well as direction. He spent his early 20s working at a number of jobs, from insurance salesman to letter carrier and even professional boxer, without finding anything remotely linked to his true calling. In 1985, after performing stand-up comedy for the first time, he eventually found his gift. By honing his craft through years of thankless engagements and small obscure clubs where he came close to hitting the big time. He came close to hitting the big time by the end of the decade, advancing to the finals of the second annual Johnny Walker National Comedy Search. From there, Harvey's career took off. In 1993, he served as the host of the Showtime at the Apollo, the famed syndicated talent show produced at the legendary Apollo Theater in New York. 3 years later, he was approached by a cable channel teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, the WB Network, with the idea of headlining his own sitcom, The Steve Harvey Show. Geared toward an African-American audience, the show also created a unique bond between Harvey and a younger comic, Cedric Kyles, nationally known as Cedric the Entertainer, who played Harvey's best friend on the show and later joined him on the groundbreaking national stand-up tour. The tour, aptly titled The Kings of Comedy, featured Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, and D.L. Hughley. Together, this 4-man brainstorming road show became a nationwide hit. In 1999, The Kings of Comedy became the nation's highest-grossing comedy tour, raking in more than $19 million. Harvey and his 3 sidekicks became national celebrities, a status only heightened by the release of Spike Lee's documentary, The Original Kings of Comedy, which captured the highlights of the 2-night show in North Carolina before a hugely enthusiastic audience. The film, which cost only $3 million to produce, earned more than $38 million at the box office. In 2000, in the face of much industry-wide skepticism, Harvey launched a daily talk radio show, The Steve Harvey Morning Show. After initially testing in the Los Angeles and Dallas, the show eventually gained national syndication in the New York City flagship. It now airs weekly, reaching nearly 9 million listeners in more than 60 markets nationwide. As Harvey's radio show heated up on one daily feature called The Strawberry Letter Caught Fire, co-host Cheryl Strawberry would routinely read a letter from a female listener seeking your relationship advice. She and Harvey would then offer their thoughts. Though Harvey was quick to confess that he never pretended to be a behavioral expert, he leaned on his experience from numerous failed relationships and decades of mistakes to inform with his brief but amusing commentary. A publisher soon pitched him to write a relationship book. Skeptical at first, Harvey knew that such books are a dime a dozen, but his book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, was a revelation. Growing out of a segment on his radio show in which he served up hilarious advice to women callers frustrated in their relationships. The book laid out clear-cut advice, providing women with the insight into a man's mind. While critics dismissed Harvey's advice as little more than a collection of overblown stereotypes, fans took to his comedic approach to self-help for the lovelorn. When I first wrote this book, Harvey shared, people laughed. What does he know? They counted he's a comedian. With his radio show as a promotional tool, he was able to sell thousands of copies before word of mouth fueled more sales. Oprah Winfrey heard of the book and gave him her sizable platform. By the end of 2009, Harvey had sold more than 2 million copies, and perception shifted. He wasn't just a comic. Now he was a relationship advisor. The dramatic story of Steve Harvey's fierce determination and quest to find his unique gift is a perfect illustration. His example is not just impressive, it is in itself, but valuable as a metaphor. Arguably one of the wealthiest individuals in his industry, Harvey knows a thing or two about finding your calling, identifying your gifts and talents, and leading with your strengths. Let's say that again. Find your calling. Now, how do you find something? You got to be looking for it. Find your calling, right? Identify your gifts and talents, and lead with your strengths. You know what? When I think about what this just said here, find your calling, identify your gifts and talents, lead with your strengths. I know so many people who lead with their weaknesses, or lead with their fear, or lead with their doubt, or lead with their worry. They don't lead with their strength or their confidence or their courage. And you hear it when they first open their mouth. They immediately go to the negative. They immediately go to the cannot. They can immediately go to something that might be keeping them back from greatness. Immediately. They're conditioned to believe, they're conditioned to, even though they know that they can, they've been conditioned to believe that they can't. So they immediately go to what they've been conditioned. They immediately go to their habit of dismiss, their habit of neglect, their habit of disbelief. For some strange reason. Find your calling. Identify your gifts and talents. Lead with your strengths. His point is clear. I wanted to be on television since I was 9 years old, but I didn't make it until I was 38. One of my classmates laughed at my dream. It wouldn't be the last time that skeptics only would doubt my talents and abilities. But I'm here now. Everybody put in the comments, so I'm here now. But I'm here now. Make your own choices before life makes them for you. Decide now to utilize your talents and gifts. Lose the misconception that you cannot be anything you set your mind to. Instead, lead with your strengths. When I look back over the course of my career, I know there was nothing else I was born to do. I was made to lift the spirits of others, and television and radio were the media that allowed me to do it. It took a while, but that's what I do. I really can't imagine doing anything else. If you truly desire it, the revelation in this chapter can mark the turning point of your life. You've been entrusted with God-given gifts, and now you have been commissioned to do something far from the ordinary. If there's any doubt that you were born in order to create wealth, I suggest that you abandon it at once. If you're going to possess a new future, you need a new beginning. If you're going to realize a new destiny, you will need a point of origin. Your progress towards wealth and prosperity begins with the self-assessment that follows. Failure to address these questions has proven to be a major stumbling block for the have-nots. Study and complete the exercise. Look within and try to identify your strengths. As you engage in this effort, do not allow any self-limiting beliefs to cloud your thinking or sabotage this activity. Self-sabotage. So here are some questions for you to ponder, for you to think about, for you to study and complete this exercise. Here's the first question, and it's multiple questions within the point. What will be your legacy? What will be your crowning moment? What is your life's purpose? Now, for some of you, you might want to write this stuff down because you may not have an answer off the top of your head. Maybe a new question for you. Maybe something you haven't thought about or considered. Let me ask you it again. What will be your legacy? What will be your crowning moment? What is your life's purpose? Complete the exercise. Take a moment to do it today. It's a Saturday. It's a great day to do it. Matter of fact, y'all know how I do. Y'all know the Breakfast Club coming up. We might just be doing this on the Breakfast Club. Who knows? Point number 2. What were you born to do? What were you born to do? Some have discovered it, some haven't. I don't know. I know now. It took a while for me. I don't know if it was 38. Maybe it was. Probably about 35, I realized I was supposed to teach about money. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help as many people as possible to break financial bondage in their life, to get out of debt, to get rich, and to build wealth, to take you to the wealthy place. That's what I've been called to do. That's what I was born to do, to teach money. What about you? Point number 3. What is the dream or vision that sets the course for your life? Share the one idea that you will definitely pursue. What is the dream or vision that sets the course for your life? Share the one idea that you will definitely pursue. Now, I know you got a whole bunch of ideas. Probably got a whole bunch of stuff on your list of things that you want to do. But what's the one thing that you undoubtedly will pursue? I can tell you what mine is. I got a lot of ideas too. I got to get them all the time. But I got one that I'm pursuing. Like, I'm definitely going to pursue. That's definitely going to happen. I don't even got to talk about pursuing it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to build it. Y'all should know by now that's the money school. Makes sense. I'm a teacher that teaches about money. I want to free people. In order to free people at a bigger clip, it might be good. It'll be good to have a school and for them to go to or to log into or something like that. Matter of fact, we got school right now. That's an alignment. I'm a teacher. I want to build a school. A money school. What is the dream or vision that sets the course for your life? Share the one idea that you will definitely pursue. Point number 4. What do you wish to occur within the next 5 years? What will you accomplish? Now we're talking about setting a 5-year goal. 5 years from now, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to have occurred in your life? What do you want to acquire, build, do, have? Who will you become in 5 years? 5 years. Some people can't see past 5 days. It's hard for them to get past 5 weeks, and then they got to get to 5 months, let alone 5 years. Forward thinking. Forward thinking. Point number 1, 2, 3, 4. Point number 5. Where will you be financially? What's your money going to be looking like? Where will you be financially? If you keep doing what you've been doing, are you going to keep getting what you've been getting? Do you like it? Do you like it? Where will you be? Where will your money be? Point number 7. What keeps you up at night? What gets you out of bed each morning? What keeps you up at night? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What keeps you up at night? What gets you out of bed in the morning? There's some, when that morning strike, they hop up, they ready to go. They've been thinking about it, dreaming about it all night. Now they get a chance to go attack that thing. There's some that lay in the bed, hitting the snooze button all the time. They have nothing they're going for. Therefore, getting up is not a priority. They'll get up when they get up. And then point number 8. What are your skills, your talents, and your gifts? Why are you unique? What are your skills, your talents, and your gifts? Why are you unique? Got some answers here, man. I'll be Dr. Britt. All right, I guess that's 5 years from now. Within 5 years, something like that. Savannah's Soul Food Kitchen and Food Pantry. All right, my legacy will be that I change the financial trajectory of my family. When I die, my heirs will not only receive an inheritance then, but they will also meet yearly. If not, I'm not sure if it's going to be my death anniversary or my birthday. I'll probably be my birthday, but they will meet yearly for 20 years after my death and receive an inheritance each year based on the instructions and milestones that I left for them. So like you got a trust set up for them. Why are you unique? Why are you unique? Where are you going? Where are you going? The fourth law of wealth is the starting point of all financial success, as well as the stumbling block for those who fall short of the mark. Each of us desires the finer things in life, fame, fortune, and respect, but few go beyond just hoping and wishing for them. The easiest thing to do whenever you fall short of the mark is to blame lack of ability or circumstances for your misfortunes. The easiest thing to forget, especially when fate has been unkind, is that you were born to succeed, not fail. Everybody putting console, I was born to succeed. Let me go back and read this again. This is powerful. Each of us desires the finer things in life, fame, fortune, respect, but few go beyond just hoping and wishing for them. The easiest thing to do whenever you fall short of the mark is to blame lack of ability or circumstances for your misfortunes. The easiest thing to forget, especially when fate has been unkind, is that you were born to succeed, not fail. Unfortunately, our nation has a growing number of individuals who have already sold themselves on the idea that they just don't measure up, that they just can't cut it. They are already dead in spirit, aimlessly parading through life with no sense of meaning or purpose. Decide where you're going. Begin from where you stand. If you know what you want, if you are determined to get it to the point that it becomes an obsession, and you back that obsession with a continuous effort and sound planning, then you have awakened and stirred the codes of this most important law. And if your name is to be found on the roll of our nation's black millionaires, it is you who must identify and utilize your gifts and talents. It has been written that a fish cannot be drawn in water, a bird does not fall in the air, and each of us, God's creators or God's creatures, must live in his or her own true nature. Success in life comes not from holding a good hand, but from playing a poor hand well. Perhaps Shakespeare said it best. To thine own self be true. Now, you found your calling. If so, you have completed the fourth step to financial fulfillment. To thine own self be true. Find your calling. What were you born to do? And here's our millionaire lesson number 5, coming from the fourth law of wealth. Our lesson number 5. Millionaires understand that they possess innate talents and gifts. They accentuate their positive strengths and skills. They refuse to permit what they can't do to interfere with what they can do, what they are uniquely gifted to do. Millionaires understand that they possess innate talents and gifts. They accentuate their positive strengths and skills. They refuse to permit what they can't do to interfere with what they can do, what they are uniquely gifted to do. And I think I want to read this last section one more time. And here's the question I want you to answer in the comments below. Where are you going? And it's a great way to answer this question because you can look at it a couple of different ways. Where are you going? If you say, hey, I know where I'm headed based upon where I've been or my trajectory. If I keep going, if I keep at this pace, if I keep doing what I've been doing up until this point, here's where I'm going to end up. If you like where that place is going to be, if you like the trajectory, as you look at, you track your history into where you are currently, and do you forecast in the future, you pretty much know where that's going to lead you. If you like that, keep going. But if you look at the trajectory of where you've been up until where you are, and you see, you forecast forward, and you say, if I keep doing what I've been doing, how I've been doing it, and it doesn't, in your mind, say, I'm going to get to the place where I really want to be, then you know you need to adjust some things. Where are you going? This is all self-analysis, self-assessment. I read this meme this morning. It said this: my priority right now is me. There's nothing wrong with that. Right now, right now, my priority is me. Right now, I got to get me straight. Right now. Are you and your destiny, is that a priority for you? To ensure that you are on the path, going in the direction towards where you ultimately want to be. Let me read this again. Then we'll wrap this thing up. We go a little bit long on Saturday. Make sure we get it. The fourth law of wealth is the starting point of all financial success, as well as the stumbling block for those who fall short of the mark. Each of us desires the finer things in life: fame, fortune, and respect. But few, so although all of us want it, only a few go beyond just hoping and wishing. The easiest thing to do whenever you fall short of the mark is to blame the lack of ability or circumstances for your misfortunes. The easiest thing to forget, especially when fate has been unkind, is that you were born to succeed, not fail. Unfortunately, our nation has a growing number of individuals who have already sold themselves on the idea that they just don't measure up, that they just can't cut it. They're already dead in spirit, aimlessly parading through life with no sense of meaning or purpose. You will never rise above your level of belief and self-esteem. Decide where you are going. Begin from where you stand. If you know what you want, if you are determined to get it to the point that it becomes an obsession, and you back that obsession with continuous effort and sound planning, then you have awakened and stirred the coals of the most important law. And if your name is to be found on the roll of our nation's black millionaires, if it is you who must identify and utilize your gifts and talents. It's been written that a fish cannot drown in water, or that a bird does not fall in the air. And each of God's creatures must live in his or her own true nature. Success in life comes not from holding a good hand, but from playing a poor hand well. Perhaps Shakespeare said it best: to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. That's a very, very interesting statement from Shakespeare. To thy own self. Here's what I get from it. When it comes to me and me making a priority, being true means that I must be honest with myself. I must be honest with myself about where I am, what I've been through. I must be honest with myself that, do I really have a goal, or am I just fronting for other people? I got to start being honest with myself, because at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, it's my responsibility. It's up to me. It's my responsibility. My wealth, my prosperity, my finances, the inheritance that I leave, it's my responsibility. If I don't make the grade, I can't go over there and say, oh, somebody didn't do something for me. That's not a good reason. That's not a good excuse for why you didn't get it done. This is a results-oriented life. You want results, then that means you must be responsible or held accountable for you getting those results. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door saying, you know what? Here you go. Here's your riches. No, you're going to have to work for it. You got to participate in something. You got to join something. I don't know. No one else's responsibility for you to be rich but you. No one else's responsibility for you to build wealth but you. It's no one else's responsibility to get out of debt for you but you. I'm just living. He said the easiest thing to do is to blame. Play the blame game. Play the victim. You're the victim of student loans. Oh, okay. That's the easiest thing to do. I'm the victim of something that I chose to participate in, something that I chose to sign the dotted line on. I'm the victim of that. Really? Okay. Well, if you keep playing the victim in every circumstance that you put yourself in, then how will you get victory? Let me say that again. I think the people in the back they think they just woke up. They just said, what did he just say? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. If you keep playing victim for every circumstance you put yourself in, then how in the world are you going to get the victory? How's that work? I put myself in a situation, then I play victim in the situation I put myself in when I could have easily just walked away. I could have easily said no. I could have easily stayed in my lane, but no. I had to participate in everything else that was going to be a distraction from me getting to where I said it I want to be because I was not obsessed with the destination. She said, say it again. If I keep playing victim in situations that I put myself in, let's be honest. Now, I'm not talking about every situation, but you know the situations that you put yourself in. You know the woman that you shouldn't have been messing with, but you messed with anyway. You know the brother that you kept giving another chance, although he didn't deserve it. You know the situations that you put yourself in. And then you call victim when your friends call, said, oh, this. But you didn't talk about the part where you say, you know what? I could have walked away a long time ago. I saw the yellow flags and I saw the red flags, but I kept on going because I believed in potential instead of what was actually being shown to me, which is reality. So I would not accept reality because my eyes were on the potential, but really I put myself in this situation. I put myself in this financial situation. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so let me go back to school and go get another $50,000 worth of debt when I really haven't figured out what I want to do. So so my thought was, okay, let me just keep piling on debt so I can then find my calling instead of let me find my calling first. And then I'll go and move forward because now I have a sense of direction. I put myself in a situation where I had to have all the luxuries. I had to have the key. I had to have the car. I had to have the TV. I had to have the couch. I had to have all of that, although I didn't have the income to pay for it. So therefore, I put it on credit. Now it's debt that I'm still paying for. And guess what? I don't have that car no more, but I'm still paying for it. I don't have that couch no more, but I'm still paying for it. I don't even have that TV no more, but I'm still paying for it. I put myself in this situation. But I'm going to play victim because I don't want to hold personal responsibility for the decisions that I made as a grown-ass man or a grown-ass woman. Don't shout me down because I'm preaching good. People don't want to hear the truth. And so, that's why misery loves company. They don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hang out with other people who are just as miserable as them. Then they play kumbaya while they go down the road to purgatory, the road to broke, busted, and disgusted. Then when somebody comes to their face and say, let's talk about the truth, man, it'd be like roaches, man. They'd be scattering all over the place. Somebody gonna talk truth? Oh, no. Let's keep going to the places where no one will be honest. Let's keep going to the places where they'll accept our mediocrity. Let's keep going to these places because this is where we accept it. It's not gonna force us to change. It's not going to demand a higher place in my life. It's not going to demand that I step up. No. I can just keep shrinking. I can keep drifting, and I can keep doing absolutely nothing. And at least they'll give me a hug. At least they'll pat me on the back. But damn, at some point you got to say, enough is enough. I'm going to get my ish together. My priority right now, is me. Fourth law of wealth. To thine own self be true. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. 30 minutes a day. Went over a little bit today to keep broke and stupid away. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share something that you learned today, your takeaway. A seed that's been planted into your soul, your mind, or your spirit. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to cultivate this seed. I'm not going to let this just go by the wayside. This could be my turning point. It's not about me, it's what's coming through me. I'm simply asking you to answer this question in the comments below. Was this worth your time and why? I mean, a Saturday morning, Black folk getting up, reading together, lifting up the spirits, right? Injecting themselves with a wealth consciousness. Was this worth my time? Because time is my most precious asset. And why? Reading Rainbow 2.0 in honor of LeVar Burton. Take a look. It's in a book. The Wealth Choice. Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, written by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. You can find it by simply going to the website www.denniskimbro.com, www.denniskimbro.com. Now, while you guys are typing, I know I talk much faster than type. We'll do a quick shout out to our sponsors again, helping them make this thing come true. You can check out the Black Billionaires Club, of course. We mentioned that. You can get that book, a book that I wrote about the Black billionaires. You can go there and shop at the store. You can go there and also join the club if you choose to do that. The Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric Marketplace at www.theblackbazaar.com. Blackberry Charisma, Black woman-owned business. You can support your sister, what she's doing there with her custom creation and her lingerie. Right? It's cuddle season, right? www.blackberrycharisma.com for the Hustler Books. You can support this brother. He's trying to help you get that business going, right? Hustlebooks.com and www.hustlerbooks.com. Pick up his book, get that free consultation, and then make your dreams become true. And then last but not least, Big Sis Media Group, right? You need to upgrade, right? You need your digital stuff on point. You need that website. You need the commercials. You need the trailers. You need the flyers, all that stuff. She does all that stuff. Videography, all that stuff. BigSisMediaGroup.com, BigSisMediaGroup.com. Let's catch up on these comments, and we'll get up on out of here. And I'll be ready for the Breakfast Club at 9 o'clock in the BBC. If you're in the BBC, go and put in console, hashtag BBC. No excuses allowed from Brother Ryan over at Instagram. Miss Sweet Dark Chocolate says this. Yes, it was worth time because I'm determined to change my mindset as I'm establishing a different mindset to achieve my legacy and wealth. Absolutely. Let's see what you guys talking about here, man. Tell it like it is. Right? It's on fire. Thank you. Ms. Ryan said, my takeaway is that I already got what I'm looking for. I just need to keep doing more of the same, applying what I'm learning. It's good, Rich said, man. It's worth my time. Thank you for sharing this with me. I enjoyed it. Thanks so much. Brother Voigt, my Dutch friend, research, learn, and execute. Miss Melanie Peters said, man, self-introspection is what she's got out today. Reading Rainbow 2.0. Hey, Miss Glenda Tate Williams, I must take responsibility for my success. I must take responsibility for my success. Miss Vera Reed said, man, can't get around the truth. Face it and begin to tackle my mistakes. You can't hide from yourself, right? It's always cuddle season. I know that's right, she wrote. Myra said, man, other takeaway is that our own self be true. If you're not true to yourself, no matter what you do, even if it's good stuff, you will never truly be content and happy with yourself. You'll feel like you're missing something. If you're not true, thine own self be true. Miss Keisha LeVar said, OMG goodness. This was so good this morning. I'm going to watch the replay. I was so motivated about the plans and goals that I've set for my life. This was worth my time. Absolutely. Continuing to set myself up for success. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put in the book, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, and I want you guys to remember this. It takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New black. It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street Book Club.